Good morning, everybody. Please have a seat. It has been increasingly clear in recent months, and we saw some additional reports this morning, that we're facing an economic crisis of historic proportions. And at this defining moment in our nation's history, the old ways of thinking and the old ways of acting just won't do. We're called to seek fresh thinking and bold new ideas from the leading minds across America. And as we chart a course to economic recovery, we must ensure that our government, your government, is held accountable for delivering results. Today, I'm pleased to announce the formation of a new institution to help our economic team accomplish these goals, the President's Economic Recovery Advisory Board. This board is modeled on the President's Foreign Intelligence Advisory Board created by President Eisenhower to provide rigorous analysis and vigorous oversight to our intelligence community by individuals outside of government, individuals who would be candid and unsparing in their assessment. This new board will perform a similar function for my administration as we formulate our economic policy. The board will be composed of distinguished individuals from diverse backgrounds outside of government, from business, labor, academia, and other areas, who will bring to bear their wisdom and expertise on the formulation, implementation, and evaluation of my administration's economic recovery plan. The board will report regularly to me, Vice President-elect Biden, and our economic team as we seek to jumpstart economic growth, create jobs, raise wages, address our housing crisis, and stabilize our financial markets. Let me speak to why I think this is necessary. The reality is that sometimes policy making in Washington can become a little bit too ingrown, a little bit too insular. The walls of the echo chamber can sometimes keep out fresh voices and new ways of thinking. You start engaging in groupthink, and those who serve in Washington don't always have a ground-level sense of which programs and policies are working for people and businesses and which aren't. This board will provide that fresh perspective to me and my administration, with an infusion of ideas from across the country and from all sectors of our economy. Input that will be informed by members' firsthand observations of how our efforts are impacting the daily lives of our families. I'm pleased to announce that this board will be chaired by one of the world's foremost economic policy experts, a former chairman of the Federal Reserve and one of my most trusted advisors, Paul Volcker. Paul has been by my side throughout this campaign, providing a deep understanding of the financial markets, extensive experience managing economic crises, and keen insight into the global nature of this particular crisis. Paul has served under both Republicans and Democrats and is held in the highest esteem for his sound and independent judgment. He pulls no punches. He seems to be fairly opinionated. He has a long and distinguished record of service to our nation, and I'm pleased that he's answered the call to serve once again. I'm also happy to announce that Austin Goolsbee, another one of my key economic advisors, has agreed to serve as staff director and chief economist of the Economic Recovery Advisory Board and to act as the primary liaison between the board and the administration. I also plan to nominate Austin to serve as one of the 3 members of my Council of Economic Advisors. Austin is one of America's most promising economic minds, known for his path-breaking work on tax policy and industrial organization. He's one of the economic thinkers who's most shaped my own thinking on economic matters. He's been a stalwart advisor for me since I ran for the United States Senate. I look forward to continuing our close collaboration in the White House. I plan to announce the remaining members of the Economic Recovery Advisory Board in the coming weeks, and I look forward to their contributions to our urgent work to rebuild our economy and restore prosperity across America. Last point I'd make about the board, I'll announce the particular members in the future, but I just want to be clear that this is going to be designed to make sure that everybody, that businesses across the board, whether it's high-tech or manufacturing, old or new economy, labor, innovative thinkers who may not always subscribe to the conventional wisdom, that they are there to challenge some of our assumptions, to make sure that we are not just doing the same old thing all the time. I can't think of better people than Paul and Austin to help lead that advisory board. So with that, let me take a couple of questions. I'm going to start with David Shaper from NPR if he's around. There he is. Good to see you, David.
Good to see you too. Thank you, sir. This is the third news conference you've done on the economy this week, and I'm wondering, when you say that there needs to be a new way of thinking and the old way of thinking won't do anymore, does this suggest a bit of a frustration or disappointment with the way the Bush administration and Secretary Paulson is handling the crisis to this point?
No, I think what it speaks to is the frustration of 8 years in which middle-class wages have gone down, or in real terms, their family incomes have been reduced. It speaks to my frustration about all the families that I've met over the last 2 years who have lost their health insurance or their pensions are endangered, young people who can't afford to go to college. It expresses frustration about our inability to tackle some of the long-term problems that we've been facing and have been talking about for decades, whether it's health care, energy, an education system that's been slipping behind in critical areas like math or science. And most of all, I think frustration with the incapacity of Washington to take bold, clear, decisive steps to deal with our economic problems. So, I was elected with the charge of getting this economy back in shape, but also making sure that it's working on behalf of middle-class families. In order to do that, I've tried to bring together the best economic minds, people who don't always agree with each other, but all share a commitment to making sure that we're growing the pie and that the equal opportunity is a reality in our economy, that the American dream remains alive. And so what I intend to do over the next 2 months is to forge that team, make sure that it has concrete plans for us to put this economy back on track.